Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here and this is your first video that you're seeing of mine, thank you so much for dropping by. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That would just mean the world to me. I would be so grateful for that. Today's video is going to be filmed over 2 days, and it's going to be a whole house tidy and clean, along with a bunch of laundry that needed to get done and some cooking and some baking. My name is Danielle. I am a mom of 2 boys. I am a part-time registered nurse right now, and I'm kind of just on a journey of figuring out what it is that I want from life for myself and my family. And right now it's sort of, leaning into a bit more simplicity of keeping the house tidy and clean so we can be happy and proud of what we're living in. It's also trying to make some more home-cooked meals and snacks and lunches for my family, just so I feel like I'm providing some good health for them. But I don't know, that could always change. I'm sort of on a journey, and I just thought I would take you guys along with me. One thing I know for sure is that keeping this house clean and slowly renovating it over the next couple years is very high on my list of priorities. So you guys will definitely be coming along for at least that portion of it. Anyways, all of that being said, today we've got some cleaning to do. So if you wanted to clean along with me, please do. Otherwise, you can just sit back, relax, maybe grab a cup of hot coffee or tea, take a little break in your afternoon, watch along as I do my thing, and enjoy. Apparently, I put this runner away last year without washing it, and there were some stains on it, which was a little disappointing, but that's fine. I put some treatment on it, and I got it in the washing machine, and I moved on to unloading the dishwasher. If you guys have either a second story or a basement, I'm curious to know, do you have a spot in your house, maybe on the stairs or nearby, where things kind of get piled up for whoever's next going to that level? Because we certainly do. And so there was a bunch of stuff that needed to go to the basement, and it all stays on that counter in the corner there. And so I took it all down. And then now these bananas, so my husband actually went to a local grocery store to pick something up for me, I think maybe like 2 days before this. And we don't go into grocery stores too often. We usually do our orders online. So when we do, we look for their discounted bananas. I think these were like 50 cents for each bunch. And you can see they're pretty overripe. So what we usually do is we just either use them right away in smoothies or baking. And then whatever we don't use, we peel them. I usually split them into halves just because it's a little bit easier to store that way. And then we keep them in a freezer bag, and they're great for smoothies, or again, if I want to bake something, I can just pull some out and thaw them. With this bunch, I decided I was going to go ahead and make some chocolate chip banana bread, and Finn actually helped me make that later that evening. So I left 3 bananas out on the counter that we could use for that, because there was no sense in freezing them and then having to thaw them again a few hours later. But the rest of these got peeled and put away, and now we've got lots of bananas for future meals and smoothies. I think I've mentioned once or twice on my channel before this, but I don't have a great lower back. It was probably about 10 years ago or so, I ended up with a large herniation of my L5-S1. And I was a new nurse at the time working in a hospital, and I think I just had a lot of chronic misuse of my back because while it was injured, I was still working. And as you know, if you work in healthcare, there's a lot of heavy lifting sometimes. And so I did quite a bit of damage to my back. And so these days I really try to avoid any heavy lifting, any bending over, anything I don't need to purposely hurt my back for. And Andrew is so great about helping with that. He'll help to get the kids in their car seats. The whole purpose of telling this was he usually changes the garbages for me because it's just the bending over and lifting motion can be hard on my lower back. And these are all things I can do. It's just if I do them or I do too many of them, I usually pay the price by that evening or the next couple days. And so when he's home or he's around, he's really, really good at helping me out in those ways. And so some of the jobs he has tend to be sort of the more heavy bending over lifting kind of jobs. And I am so, so appreciative of that. All right, we are moving on. This is day 2 now. I decided just to wear the same clothes because if I'm still going to be cleaning, might as well not get another set dirty, especially when I'm doing so much laundry already. So our linen closet was looking pretty low in terms of towels, and sure enough, our laundry chute was pretty full. So this is the first load of towels, and it hadn't dried the day before. So this is why I'm just getting to it today because it needed a second go in the dryer, but we're getting all of these put away. Once I get all those put away, I will head back downstairs and get the second load of towels done because I could just leave it at 1 and at least we'd have enough towels to get us through in another few weeks, but I'd rather just get it all done and not have to think about it for a while. So that is mine and Andrew's clothes that are in the dryer. So I'm pulling those out now and we're going to get those put away. Another thing I'm interested to know is, so when Andrew and I first started dating, we had a few arguments about laundry. One was that I felt I was always the one doing the laundry. And we discovered that we had sort of different thresholds for what we felt when laundry needed to be done. So for me, it was when laundry was getting close to the top of the laundry basket, I usually wanted to get it done. For Andrew, it was he didn't have a problem until the laundry basket was overflowing. So I felt like I was always doing it because we always reached my threshold before we reached his. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And another argument we had was he always sort of grew up with, you could put your laundry in the basket and whoever was doing the laundry would go through everyone's pockets and make sure that there was nothing in pockets. I grew up the opposite. You had to make sure your pockets were cleaned out before your laundry was done. So there was a few times where I did laundry and something would be in his pocket, like a pen or something that would explode. And we would both be mad at each other because I'd be like, why didn't you check your pockets? And he'd be like, why didn't you check the pockets before you washed? And so again, it's just kind of funny, eh? Like these little miscommunications that unless you actually have the conversation, then you're not going to know. So we sorted it all out. Everything is good now. I mean, after 12 years together, we have figured out ways around those things. But yeah, it's a good conversation to have if you haven't had it with your spouse. So this is a bag of veggie scraps that I have stored in my freezer. So anytime I'm chopping up veggies, whatever pieces we aren't eating, I just keep in a big bag in the freezer so it stays frozen. And I'm just putting it all in my pot here with a bunch of water, and we're going to boil it and make our own veggie broth. I definitely don't go through enough scraps to make all my own veggie broth because we use a lot in our cooking. So I do still have to supplement with store-bought, but this is just a nice way to use stuff that would, I mean, it's still going to go in the compost, but I'm getting a second life out of it first, which I think is cool. So now I'm going to make some muffins, and I just showed you that's some ground flaxseed, and what I wanted to tell you about was how to make a flax egg. So you can see I'm adding 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed to this little container, and then I'm going to add about 2.5, you can do kind of between 2 and 3 tablespoons of water, and I'm just going to let that sit for 5 minutes, and that will take the place of 1 egg when you're baking or cooking. If you needed like 2 or 3 eggs, you would just double or triple this recipe, and it's a good way to not have to use eggs if you're baking. So if you have run out of them, or if you're trying not to eat eggs, we are not fully plant-based in this house, but we strive to be as plant-based as we can. And so this is just sort of one of the ways that I can do that for my family. And it adds some extra fiber to whatever you're making, which is always a good thing because so many people are deficient in their fiber. I will also include in the description down below some resources if you wanted to learn more about ground flaxseed, because it's an awesome thing to keep on hand in your kitchen, and I recommend keeping it in your freezer to extend its shelf life. We are using it today, like I said, in some muffins. We're going to be making little mini cinnamon muffins, something pretty plain and easy that the kids can take in their lunches and hopefully actually eat as well. This recipe was actually pretty easy, and the recipe was actually for mini muffins, so I didn't have to worry about timing for cooking or anything because that was already accounted for. And then I'm topping each of these with some cinnamon, and then you're going to see, so it called for cinnamon and sugar, but instead of using white sugar, I'm going to use date sugar, and date sugar is just ground up dates, so it's a little bit better for you than regular sugar, and the kids love it, and it will still add some sweetness to the muffins. So yeah, again, date sugar and flaxseed, great things to have on hand. And this is what they look like when they're made. So they're really good. And a few days later, as I'm recording this, I think we only have about 4 left. So everyone seems to be enjoying them. Our second load of towels is out of the dryer, and I'm happy because that means all of our towels are clean again, and you can see my little mopping robot there on the floor is going around mopping the floors. That thing is amazing. I love having I have 2 robots. I have one that vacuums, one that mops, and it's amazing. I don't have to think about it anymore. I still have to do like deep cleaning, mopping, and vacuuming, but for the everyday stuff, it's a load off my mind. It's one less thing I have to do, so highly recommend. We're coming to the end of the video now, just wrapping up my projects. We got those muffins done. We got the laundry put away. I'm getting my broth put into some jars. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you comment, if you like, if you do any of that kind of engagement, I really appreciate it. I really enjoy the comments and chatting with you guys and knowing that maybe I'm helping in some way. And this is helping me tremendously. It's helping me stay a little bit more on top of my own household duties. So I really hope that today was enjoyable for you guys, that it gave you some motivation or even some ideas for trying out a plant-based meal for your family, or some plant-based baking, or just a different idea for something maybe you haven't done in a while. I know I get into a rut all the time, and it's nice to get new ideas from people. So I will aim to post another video in about a week. That's usually my schedule right now, is every Monday is what I'm aiming for. So I've got lots of other videos if you want to go watch them in between now and then. And I hope that wherever you are, you guys are having a great day. And if you are Canadian, I hope you're having an amazing Thanksgiving weekend. And we'll see you in the next one.